Welcome to beautiful Las Vegas, where we are here for the VPL Preseason Invitational. It is week 5, the final chance for these teams to show what they have before the regular season, and it all starts right now.
What does it take to mold a champion? Shape your destiny. Hone your craft. In mobile esports, it doesn't get any bigger than this. Today is where the molding begins, the preseason, where teams have the chance to establish their rhythm as a new 5-player team, try out strategies, and gel as a group in preparation for a historic run for the championship. The VPL Preseason Invitational begins now.
It is week 5, the final week of the preseason, and we have a great slate of games scheduled for you all week long. Let's kick things off today with Wolves Esports going head-to-head against Team Queso. Rising Lotus versus Equinox, and Salty Potatoes versus Clash will round out Europe. And then North America, new start time, 11 a.m. But the big matchup, TSM versus Tribe Gaming, the hype match possibly of the entire preseason.
Boom! This is it. This is our final weekend of the preseason. Everything building up to this point, the last chance for these teams to prove what they got. My name is FlashX, joined by the wonderful Tasty Bacon.
Absolutely looking forward to these matchups. It's the final week, and you might be thinking, well, if it's the last week of preseason, what comes after? Well, we can tell you what comes after. The regular season will be kicking off in early June. We will have 2 separate tournaments during the summer, 2 for each region, that is 24 teams per region in each of those tournaments. The top 8 teams will be invited. The rest of the field will be open signups. That's right, the open tournaments are back.
And it wouldn't be a new season without a new logo. ESP Gaming bringing us what's going to be the new look for the Vainglory Premier League. Looking so good. New format, new logo, it makes sense.
Brand new logo, looks almost as sharp as FlashX does on the desk. We are going to be so excited for this new season format. You say new season format, but it's also an old season format. Those who have been around since the start will remember these open tournaments, the amount of excitement that they can cause, the opportunities it offers to players that maybe nobody's ever heard of before.
Absolutely. It's going to be such an opportunity for a lot of these challenger type teams to not only go head-to-head with some of the best, but prove that they are good enough to go head-to-head with some of the best.
And speaking of some of the best, we have some of the best, and we can see where these teams are ranking right now. Clash and Queso, 7-1 each at the top of the standings. Salty Potatoes behind them at 4-4. Then rounding out the field in Europe, it's Rising Lotus, Equinox Esports, and Wolves Esports, all struggling to kind of make a name for themselves, get a little bit of momentum as we finish off the preseason invitational. But speaking of those top teams, we have Munchables. He's going to be ready to join us very, very shortly. His visa has been approved. That's #1 on my power rankings. But his power rankings has Team Queso, followed by Clash and Salty Potatoes.
I definitely really like where he has those teams. Even though Clash took an early lead, it has been Queso who's looked a little bit sharper as we wrap up this preseason. But the fact that he's going to be joining us for this regular season, now that he has his visa, is very exciting.
Yeah, power rankings are all about the recent performances, and that's what has resulted in Munchables' power rankings. Agree with them completely. But speaking of recent performances, we're going to be looking at the matchup. We have Wolves Esports and Team Queso going head-to-head. Wolves, you see their draft on the top, Queso on the bottom. And what stands out to you right away here, Flash?
It has got to be how tanky the front line is for the side of Queso. Churnwalker, Cruel, Alpha, so hard for Wolves to have to get through. And then if they do manage to get to the back line to the Celeste, you have that Lorelei to drop the water wall on her, keep her alive. It's going to be really hard for Wolves to have to try and deal with.
Yeah, in 3.2, Lorelei has actually been outstanding thus far, one of the breakout heroes of this update. But for the side of Wolves, the advantage they will have is that Scarf Samuel, massive range. But don't know if there's going to be a lot of concern because Palmatoro, as you're about to find out, had a lot of confidence.
Yo, it's Palmatoro here, top laner for Team Queso. This weekend we're going up against Wolf Esports and Salty Potatoes. And for me and Techno, actually, we're going up against our former coach Kgaza, which is always fun. We expect nothing else than 2 clean wins this weekend and to hopefully close out the EU VPL preseason as the #1 team.
Obviously, Queso expecting to continue their recent trend of victories, but on the other side from Wolves, Paprika is not intimidated.
And this team, Queso, is what we're going to do to you. That's some good cheese.
Paprika obviously feeling pretty confident going into their matchup, and you see Kigaza as well saying, Wolves need meat. Why are we being served cheese? I guess they're gonna go on a diet just for today. Obviously, a little bit of trash talk going back and forth there. Wolves, nothing really to lose going to this one. They have struggled thus far in the preseason, but if you can pick up a win in the final week against the top team in the league, that is huge momentum going into the regular season.
Awesome confidence, awesome video. A huge opportunity for Wolves for sure. They can have a lot of fun with it. They can bring out some new strategies, but this is the last opportunity for them to try and gain some momentum before we head into the regular season.
Yeah, and obviously, this matchup definitely going to be favoring Team Queso. You see the stats comparison, every single stat favoring Team Queso. You do see one game less played. That is because Queso has a forfeit victory over the course of the preseason, but every single stat you see is pretty heavily in favor of Team Queso, and it's kind of is to be expected when you have the inverse records there.
Absolutely. It's going to be very fun. We're jumping on to the Sovereign's Rise. Dowsey and Stress, take it away.
We'll have to see if Paprika can get his meal of cheese here. Stress. Wolves currently sitting at the bottom of the standings up against Queso, the #1 team here in EU. Their last chance to try and get some points on the board here in the last week of the EU VPL Preseason Invitational.
And then you look up at the other side of this matchup, right? It's another opportunity for Queso to show.
Look at the top lane.
Yeah.
Hundor going low. Will Hundor go down? No, he won't. Oh, wow. That's some major pressure coming out of Wolves.
Yeah, I was focused on the mid lane at that point. But yeah, looking up at the top lane, that little trade sends Hundor back. So what I was going to say was shows that Queso, they have another opportunity to prove how consistent they can be, how solid. You don't really want to lose to a team at the bottom of the table. You'd rather take that top spot and then put the pressure on Clash to be able to tie them up later in the day.
Absolutely. Well, it is going to be Tyra's now caught out here. And he's not going to get to his turret, it doesn't seem. Will he be taken down in his reboot protocol? Does get the reboot off, but it's going to be First Blood coming over to Wolves. They've done their homework here, Stress.
That was close. That was very, very close on that alpha, but Tyra's, as you said, not able to get to the tower. The turret, that is the biggest factor on that defensive play. So we were just talking a little bit about that, being solid, playing in a way that you're not giving too much up. So already good moves out of Wolves to try and punish a little bit of that. Haven't seen too much from the rest of the map yet. We're only 2 minutes in, but look at this Kigaza versus Palmatora down in that bottom lane. Kigaza on the Samuel up against the lane Lorelei. I really want to see how Palmatora actually can have the impact on this Lorelei now, because we haven't really seen the strength come from Lorelei as a captain. I want to see whether there's going to be as much roaming after being in lane. There's much more offensive itemization being picked up here as well. This looks to be going more of that damage route rather than just captain roaming around.
Yeah, expect that alternating current to come out, and then maybe we go towards that kind of utility Lorelei that we saw so heavily favored by the Koreans at Worlds. Just getting that aftershock and potentially a clockwork, so you just provide lots of utility and a lot of damage as well. Be really interesting to see how this one plays out. I know Leon has been saying for quite some time that he thinks Lorelei is underrated in the lane and that more teams should be considering her. Bit of a skirmish in this mid lane. Biggie going very low. It's going to be Hunter stunned up here. Just the Hegman show on this Churnwalker, pulling everyone around.
Yeah, got both members of Wolves in that middle lane pulled back in and puts them in a lot of trouble there. So you can see now Techno JJ is going to be able to kind of take over the lane with Hegman. That's so much respect that I and Biggie and Hunter have to really pay now, because you're basically one hook away from a setup and then Techno JJ can get the kill. But I like what they're doing here. Instead of greeding for the kill, move in through the top side jungle, look to try and catch out Paprika, or at least get a little bit of vision control with those scout cams down, and just take control of every part of the map away from Wolves, at least on the top side. Bottom side is going heavily in favor of Wolves.
Yeah, Kigaza's doing a pretty decent job making sure that he's able to control the lane, and you see him actually roaming up to the mid side here to provide the support whilst Biggie is back at the Sanctuary. I'm going to clear this wave up, but Hunter, hard commit. Will he be able to escape is the question. He's in a bit of trouble. Will find his death as Aceroid and Kigaza are looking to try and take this Crystal Treant for themselves. They are going to be able to secure it, but now Heckman's got them in the clutches, and here comes Palmatoro looking for that route onto Aceroid. Doesn't hit it. Aceroid running Kigaza though. He's dead. All right, kill over to Techno. JJ there. The collapse from Wolves not successful.
Yeah, that Wolves play looked a little bit disjointed. I think maybe communication issues between the team, because Adagio was basically starting the Crystal Train right as the rest of the team were trying to go in the mid lane. Like, that would have been the 3 versus 2 play if they had gone together, but on a different page, didn't really get what they wanted and ended up losing a whole lot more than they were going to gain even from that play themselves.
Now it looks like Team Queso going to brute force their way into this Crystal Treant here. Hunter RX taking some unnecessary damage from the Churnwalker tick. It is going to be, of course, Techno JJ taking that orb away for himself. Kigaza roaming up from the bottom side of the map. Does get caught in a core collapse. Tyrus dives in. That's a lot of damage. 1 kill over to Tyrus. Looking for a second. It is going to be Hunter XX falling. Biggie so low as well. Wolves just not able to keep Queso out of their jungle.
And it's Queso's prerogative, right? You get the play along the mid lane, you move into the enemy jungle. We know they've been playing topside because those scout cams. Biggie is in a lot of trouble, will end up falling. We know they've been playing topside because of the scout cams. They have the vision control. That's where they're going next. And now they're going to try and reap the benefits from it by pushing mid as well.
Last week we saw Hundor play a fantastic weapon power Samuel. This week we do see Kigaza attempting to do the same thing here in lane. Doesn't seem to be working so far. Hundor gets a kill for himself on the top side, a dive onto Paprika. Basically, Queso saying, you want cheese, here's cheese, we'll give it to you. And at this point, Wolves, very good early start, but that's something that they've always done well, is their early game rotation stress. It's when this mid game starts coming around the corners where they start losing their cool. Kigaza getting hooked up here. This might be trouble. Do they want the fight? Hegman's coming in. JJ trying to get in position. That's going to be Kaza locked up. Good Oblivion. The block does come through. Techno JJ, he's actually gone to 4. Wolves have collapsed on top of Queso. And now they're looking for some kills here. A double comes through for Aceroid. Heckman, last man standing, will fall down. A 5-man collapse finds 3 kills and a Ghost Wing to be taken.
Yeah, good setup from Wolves down by this Ghost Wing pick to actually collapse. This goes back to something we talked about all the way back in week 2, Dowsy. Is like, hey, you're getting this tower push topside. You're making the play top. That means don't make the play bottom side if you don't have vision control of everyone. Hundor and Tyra is doing a great job top to push 2 towers down. It's a little easier because of the trade on the bottom side. But look, they gave away a bunch of kills. They give away a Ghost Swing. And that could very well give the opportunity over to Wolves to come back into this game. We know how strong these turret pushes can be with the Ghost Swing buff. And now they want to go on this Lorelei.
Yeah, it makes sense. Push down this bot turret. Here comes Aceroid from behind. Will they go for this kill? They've got the pincer. They're not committing as a team. Aceroid's going in alone. He should be able to get the kill. Seems like he will be able to. There we go. One more auto attack. One more auto attack. One more auto attack. Can he get it? Yes, he will be able to. There's the kill coming through. They lose a mid turret in the process. Biggie not able to keep that one alive. At that point, 3 turrets for Queso in return for just a 1 in the bot lane. You have to think that Queso came out on top.
Yeah, for now at least there is a third of this buff left from the Ghost Wing. They could potentially 5-man push mid. There is still an engage happening in the bottom lane as well. There's a little time left for Wolves to get more from this, but certainly it's been a little bit more in Queso's favor than they would have liked.
Big collapse in this mid lane. A stun comes through onto Hunter X. The Oblivion from Kigaz is not going to have any impact. And look at Hundor going through. Solar Storm will take Kigaz's life there. Another kill comes through for Tyra's in that bot side. The push just overextended from Wolves. At this point, there's a 5,000 gold lead thereabouts, 4,000 for Team Queso, and they're not relenting any pressure.
No, at this point, the back half of that sequence, I was saying there might have been the opportunity for Wolves, but they remain split. Queso come back fresh from their own base after shopping and are able to just pick up a bunch of kills on the back end of it. Now they want more from Hunter.
Yeah, there's no way he gets out of this one alive. But the question is, what does Paprika do? Has a turret to fall behind. There's that Storm Shield, but he's getting pulled back in. That's going to be another kill going over to the side of Queso. Biggie, Aceroid, and Keygaza are trying to keep this weapon tree on their side, but maybe they've just committed too hard. It is going to be Keygaza stuck between a rock and a hard place. He has to turn on to Tenno JJ here. Weapon Power Samuel, can he find the damage? No, he can't. A complete massacre in the jungle of Wolves here. Aceroid trying to find one for himself, but he can't even do that. A double kill for Tenno JJ. Hegman keeping Tenno alive. And at this point, Queso are just taking what they want.
Yeah, the snowball has completely formed now. Gone is the ability in those segmented fights for Wolves to turn this back around. Now Queso just outputting a lot of damage. We're going to see this Lorelei. I don't even think she's really going to get to the point of the game, which I want to talk about, whereas the late game, Lorelei, you just get a bunch of extra CP from your abilities and end up hitting people really hard. We might get there, but Queso probably looking to shut this game out before that even is a possibility. Ghostwing is coming up. They are grouped. There's a Catherine up on the top side. That's quite an integral part of this composition for Wolves. And the desk already talked about how difficult this Queso lineup is to kill, how tanky they are, and that is coming into full effect. The experience is in their favor as well, and Wolves, they look like they might be caught out here.
Oh, look at this. Hegman just comes through. A Solar Storm rips through as well. Oblivion doesn't find Daddy One, and Wolves are trying to run, but Hegman, a 4-man stun on that Churnwalker, showing up huge. That's going to be Biggie going down. It's going to be 2 kills already to Queso. It is just them taking everything that they want here. Trying to escape is Hunter, is Aceroid, but Hunter cannot. Palmatoro is committing. Can Palmatoro find the kill to Aceroid? I think it's just a matter of time. Aceroid maybe pops that that ultimate, gets himself some fortified health, goes back in. What is it going to be? Aceroid? No, just to his death he goes. Churnwalker and the Krang will take down this turret here. They get a Ghostwing as well to try and get that turret falling in the bot side. Does look like it will be defended, but at this point Wolves cannot find a team fight.
18 kills to 5. Wolves have got the proverbial scraps, but that's about it from the table. The cheese certainly is not enough to sate that hunger at this point. Like, Wolves, they're 1-7. They're bottom of the table. They have had a few good performances that we've seen, but when you look at them up against a team like Queso have done so well consistently, and that really has been their mark for why they're a top-tier team. Wolves are going to try one more fight.
Yeah, they are trying one more fight. Biggie, though, left all by himself, will fall, and this is just a massacre once more as Wolves are split between everywhere. Double kill comes through, a triple for Tyra's ridiculous play. Only Aceroid left alive, and with Palmatoro pushing the top side, the rest of Queso in the mid lane, this is going to be some armories destroyed.
Yeah, it's likely to be the 2 armories coming from this. And so what this win basically does is puts Clash in a position where they can tie up against Queso, but can't assume full control of the leaderboard at the end of the preseason. Here they go again.
You guys are going to go down to Tyra's. Everyone's going down to Tyra's here as this Vein Crystal is the target. Once they get their kills, once they pad their stats, take down Hunter. Biggie and Paprika, last man standing. I don't think they're going to go in at all. They might just do what they can to try and show that they're trying to stop this Vein Crystal 4, but at the end of the day, it is going to be Team Queso taking the W. And actually, that is a very close performance to their first game against Wolves in Week 3. They pretty much matched the time here, Stress. They pretty much matched the kills and everything. Queso, so consistent here in Europe.
Yeah, looking really strong. Tenno JJ, a great game. Honestly, the entire roster looking very, very solid. Definitely deserve being towards that top of the table.
Well, Queso once more, a very dominating performance as expected. Let's see what FlashX and Bacon have to say about that win.
Well, as Dowsy mentioned, as expected, I think, for this matchup. No real surprises. Team Queso just looking clean and efficient in their team fighting.
Wolves wanting to make a statement. Unfortunately, they were the ones getting melted here today. Definitely a great way to start the day, though. Looking forward to what Europe has to bring. We got a team fight right here, right at around the 10-minute mark. This is ultimately what set Queso up to go in, execute the game. Super clean engagement out of Hegman on the Churnwalker. Those double ult stunts is absolutely what set his team up.
Yeah, and it was just so clean, the execution on these team fights. You then see the Krull getting that execution kill on the bottom side of the screen after everything kind of broke down a bit, and then just chasing out and finishing things off. Great play from Queso. You see Paprika saying, hey, can we have a show match versus Hammers instead? Maybe that's an opponent more our speed. So we'll see if we'll talk to production, see if maybe we can get that to happen for you. I think that'd be a fun little match to have.
The battle of the bottom. Who in the world would be the worst team? Not one you would want to lose, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely not. The battle of the beatens, so to speak. But well, speaking of the future and what's going to be coming up, Vainglory has the new update coming up shortly, update 3.3. We've got a little bit of a sneak peek for you. What's going to be coming? Obviously, the ranked leaderboard, the joystick controls, the voice chat, the new hero, and an improved home screen layout. Lots of features that have been heavily requested for some time.
Fuji had talked about this quite a bit, that there's going to be a lot of exciting updates coming along. Here's a look inside the studio. I don't know what my players are doing there. They should have been at home practicing. But yeah,
they were practicing. They're practicing the new joystick controls.
Which definitely an interesting decision, to say the least.
Now, you can take a look. If you were wondering how the joystick controls were going to look, how it was going to work, this is a little preview of what it's going to be like with the new joystick controls. Lots of skill shots. You know, they completely redid joystick from any other game. It's unlike any other joystick controls in mobile MOBAs. And you see also from Ciderhelm on Reddit saying they are implementing ranked leaderboards. This might be the single most requested feature at high-level play in all of Vainglory.
Not just that, it's been one of the most requested feature from the history of Vainglory since the very beginning. I mean, I remember I sat down at a captain's meeting at the winter tournament of 2016 and said, I want leaderboards. 2 years later, we're finally getting it, but no, seriously.
Like, okay, now that Flash is no longer playing, we can go ahead and throw some leaderboards in there.
Exactly. But no, super stoked to have those on the way.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, but we have our picks and bans for our second European game of the day. Rising Lotus on the top of your screen, Equinox Esports on the bottom. Flash, what are we looking for in this one?
Rising Lotus definitely coming into this having the upper hand. I like both the ranged and the mobility that they have out of their comp. They've got the Black Feather, they've got the Sky, they've got the Lyra. If they want to dive into the back line, whether that's his Crystal Power Idris or Crystal Power Kestrel, they can portal in and do that. It's going to be very hard and interesting to see how Equinox tries to deal with that.
Yeah, a lot of versatility really on both sides in terms of how you're going to actually play these team fights. Obviously, for the side of Equinox, you have the versatility in going weapon or crystal on a few heroes, but on the side of Rising Lotus, you have the choice between do you go aggressive or do you try and kite. With a Lyra, that gives you those options to be able to play however you really want to with their composition. So I like what they've got here. Well, we're going to be first taking a look at our players to watch for this game. First with you, Flash.
For Equinox, we definitely want to be looking at Baby Groot. He made his debut last week. Actually looked very, very strong and needed to do what he needed to do. It was very close against Salty Potatoes. He was on that Celeste in the back line, doing a great job, poking great snipes. That Spellfire coming in, melting them down all the way. He needs to make sure that he is on par with how he performed last week as well.
Yeah, that's definitely one of these names that if you've been around the European scene, you know the Baby Groots and you know what they are capable of. But on the other side of the rise for Rising Lotus, we're going to be keeping an eye on Sneaky, a name that we all know, but we know him from other teams. He made the switch mid-preseason to Rising Lotus. It came through big, you know, in making an impression right off the bat. It's a guy that we know to be this breakout player of last year, really, for all of Europe, or one of the breakout players. Put up some great numbers, and now switching teams to Rising Lotus, going to be looking to bring this team up to a higher level.
He has looked very good in some matches, not so good in others. He can definitely be a breakout player for Rising Lotus. Only time will really tell.
Definitely going to be something that Rising Lotus wants to get this roster, you know, coordinated and get this synergy built up, because they've proven that they are a team that can take games against strong opponents, but they also drop games sometimes to weaker opponents. So that inconsistency is one of the biggest issues for Rising Lotus. Bringing in Sneaky is something that they're doing to try and shore up some of their weaknesses.
A lot of these European teams are still experimenting with their rosters quite a bit, seeing what they can do, taking a look at the comparison between these two teams. Rising Lotus does have the advantage in most of these categories. Turrets sitting right at the same but they definitely need to make sure that they're executing on a high level as far as their macro gameplay goes.
Yeah, you can see the average turrets being taken is actually dead even. Really, it's a pretty similar stats across the board. Obviously, like you mentioned, there are advantages for Rising Lotus there, but it's not massive leads like what we've seen, from like Queso versus Wolves or things like that. So it's definitely should be a very close, exciting matchup. And one other thing we want to get to is we've talked a lot about what we've had coming up for the regular season with the new studio. Well, we're going to have a little bit of a closer look at the brand new studio. Those aren't pre-rendered graphics anymore. That's the real deal. We got to take a little bit of a tour. I'll be getting to show you guys what the new venue is going to look like coming up later on. I believe later on today, we're going to have a look at that new studio, so you do not want to miss that. Make sure you stick around after this game for a closer look.
Can't wait to see what it looks like. Can't wait to see what Bacon looks like inside of it. Perhaps a little bit later on today. We'll have to see, but seriously, very much looking forward to getting in there. It is going to take our production to all new heights.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a blast, but we're going to be getting into this game momentarily. And so as we get ready for this one, once again, Rising Lotus, Equinox, both teams, they're currently near the bottom of the standings, but they're also like fighting for that middle spot, fighting to be in that middle ground, which we've looked at the new format for the regular season where the top 8 teams get an invite, and who knows what that's going to lead into. It hasn't been confirmed just yet, but being one of these teams that can be, if you can finish top 4, that's got to feel good going into the regular season.
Yeah, you know that you've done well, but there's also still the incentive there to keep growing, keep progressing. There's a lot of room for growth that all of these players are going to look for, and this is one of the last chances to try and build that synergy with your teams on a stage like this before things kick off and get very serious.
Absolutely, and so we do have just a player connection issue that we're sorting out right now. As that gets taken care of, we're going to take a look at some of the Dragon stats for Europe. This Ghostwing and Blackclaw, who's been taking them most frequently and how much they've been winning with them. You see, Salty Potatoes and Team Queso, 2 of the most successful teams, and when they get the first Blackclaw capture, they win those games more often than not. See, Wolves Esports, actually, they've been able to capture the Blackclaw first a couple of times, but not having the same level of success.
Definitely interesting to not see Clash on there. Salty Potatoes perhaps having their. We're on the Sovereign's Rise, though. Dowsy, Stress, take it away.
Looking forward to this matchup all week here, Stress. Rising Lotus have shown that they are improving with this new roster. But let's talk about Equinox. These guys bringing on the baby Groots. They've been doing so well since then.
Yeah, they've been looking great. Like coming in that first set of matches, Safantu up in the top lane. It's been a massive shift. Like you cannot underestimate how much of a change this team actually has undergone over the last 2 weeks, and they look like a serious threat, especially now up against a team like Rising Lotus, who we said the same, kind of were going up in stock throughout the middle weeks here. So this is a really interesting matchup between 2 teams that are on the rise, and I think maybe if the preseason lasted a couple more weeks, may even be challenging the likes of Clash.
Right, absolutely. It's going to be really exciting to see how this one does play out. Equinox can get some valuable points to really solidify their position in the middle of the roster here in EU, or Rising Lotus can show that they deserve the success and that they can continue it up. Either way, in the top lane, a bit of an issue here for Baby Groot and Safantu. It's level 1s versus level 2s, and Sneaky wants to move in. Nomad providing the slows. That's first blood coming over to Sneaky, and now we'll have to see if Safantu can get away. Doesn't have a flask to heal himself. That's going to be an issue. Sneaky tanking the turret. Oh, so close. Safantu able to roll away. That is what happens when level 2s versus level 1s.
Yeah, for the second time in as many minutes, Safantu gets dropped low in the top side, but it's all about that kill. As you said, it was the experience advantage, the ability to just move from lane to lane. I got to keep my eyes on Shy as he was making an aggressive move in the middle lane as well, but it's a good start for Rising Lotus getting that first pick of the game. I want to see how this game actually kind of moves forwards, because Rising Lotus have a lot of tools to engage. When you look at the Lyra, you can kind of get in on these flank engagements pretty well, but then they go up against the Arden. That's what I want to see, whether the Arden, the Adagio are difference makers on these stacked group fights, because if Rising Lotus use their initiation once, it's basically all of the tools they have in order to start a fight.
Wow. Baby Group Part 2's just got to lane, and already Sneaky is hammering it down. Stefan2 in trouble as well. You got the slows from Lyra, the weapon treant buff as well, slowing with every auto attack, and Sneaky throwing them in there. This top side is pretty much in danger for Equinox, as Sneaky and Nomad are going to continue their dominance.
Yeah, especially when you look at the fact that Baby Group Part 2 playing this Kestrel, he wants to keep them at range, but the position where the lane actually ended up forced him to come into an unsafe place in the lane to actually try and farm. That puts him at risk. The damage gets traded back. Now he loses even more farm out of the lane. So it's kind of this cause and effect that came from that initial first blood.
Now seeing Stefan2 playing a weapon power Idris here in the lane. We'll have to see how that one does perform. Of course, Baby Group Part 2 is the jungler for Equinox and is going to get potentially caught out here as he tries to secure his gold oak. Wanting to try and throw a glimmer shot just to get it, but he is getting spotted up by the scout chems pushed back here. Baby Groot going to come in to try and find the steal, isn't able to do so, and it's just going to be Rising Lotus stealing everything away. Looks like Shy overextended there towards the Crystal Treant whilst the invade was happening on the top side. Does lose his life as well. At this moment, Rising Lotus just winning on all fronts.
Yeah, we've seen quite a big prominence of Rising Lotus from going into the jungle of Equinox, taking away a lot of the camps from Baby Group Part 2. That was basically what forced him up into the top side, was because there wasn't anything top. It was too dangerous for him in the bottom jungle. And Alex SS, speaking of dangerous in the bottom jungle here, he's got team members coming towards him though. Maybe they can turn this around.
All too late here. Tried to get the weapon treant for himself, does successfully do so, but now he's going to lose his life and potentially his teammates will as well. That's a double kill for Solicitude. That's a triple kill for Solicitude. Going to find himself all of the action there on a Sky as well. When Sky gets fed, it's a scary, scary task. Sneaky trying to kill Stefan2 here. He might just go for this. Ooh, missed the Malice and Verdict, won't continue forward.
Thing is, he's just going to keep this up, right? Because you got this weapon power Idris in the lane, doesn't have that range advantage of when you're going CP, so he can just trade with him from a range, hit him with that weapon orb, it'll slow him, you'll get more damage out, and just constantly do this. Like, if Stefan2 is basically playing under his tower, they lose so much ability to play around the top side. And you can see, even playing around it, Nomad Vagabond coming up to the top side. Baby Group Part 2 is still level 3 at the beginning of this little skirmish, and now they force him back into a jungle that has no camps available, away from a bunch of the experience, away from the ability to help. And this is just a good strategy. They've really been able to put Baby Group Part 2 on the back foot.
I mean, when you compare the fact that Baby Group Part 2, who is such a impactful player for the new Equinox roster, is level 4 versus Keanu Nikoa's level 6. There's just so much trouble here. Alex SS caught out by Keanu Nikoa, a bit of damage traded back and forth. Keanu Nikoa pretty happy to make that trade, even though he loses out on health. That's going to be Alex S also losing his health as well, and that means that his laner is going to have a bit of an easier job. Once more, Sneaky and Nomad roaming into the jungle to steal everything away. And when you steal those camps right in the middle of the jungle, the Gold Oaks, the two doubles, that's where the most experience is. So if you're stealing those away constantly, you're denying Baby Groot so much. Baby Groot, desperate here to try and get some experience of his own, is going to go into the jungle. He's trying his best to escape. May just be able to do it around the corner here. It looks like Nomad
is not going
to allow it. Oh, didn't quite check around. That's what Fog of War does for you. You have to go around the corner to be able to see completely. And even though we could see it, Nomad had just a darkness around the corner.
That's the second of those that we've had where it's been like pixels away from being available to see him through Fog of War. That whole play was set up by exactly what we were discussing before. The fact that the lane was in a neutral spot, forced Kestrel to come forward, they pull him into the lane, get the damage down, move in the jungle, take the camps, reset themselves. So again, experience being taken away, and Rising Lotus is so confident right now that they're 2 versus 3 and they know it in the bottom side. Solicitude picked up those kills earlier and he's playing with a lot of danger here, but they've killed him topside again.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Solicitude, he can just escape with Sky. Look at this, Keanu Nikoa 1v3. Maybe not where he wants to be. Sneaky once more taking Stefan2 out in the top side. This is going to be the top turret pretty much going down, you think. Equinox are just all over the shop right now. They're trying their best desperately to try and get advantages on the areas of the map that Rising Lotus aren't pressuring. But even when they do so, they're not quite able to find anything for themselves.
The one thing they've managed is Alex SS, and this is the tiniest of silver linings, did just manage to steal away the weapon orb. So he's been annoying on the bottom side, taking camps away, but that is all it amounts to. There's a tower now gone in the top side, and this is a greater lead than we had in the last game. And we were watching Queso crush. That's a 2v1 in the bottom lane. Alex SS trying to win it.
Yeah, he's going to find a kill here. He almost takes out Rising Solicitude as well. Very close stuff coming out for LXSS, but here's Nomad Vagabond and, of course, Cracks putting the pressure onto LXSS, and looks like LXSS isn't going to find himself caught out here. First kill for Equinox is at that bottom side turret, but that turret did lose its life. That is 2 kills already. Now LXSS gets dived upon here. Cracks trying to get in position. Baby Group Part 2 with the active camera trap, going to make sure they don't chase too far here. The Solar Storm not quite connecting from Cracks is going to be LXSS safely going back to Sanctuary, but already a 7,000 gold lead here.
And from that, I want to revisit a little bit of the discussion on team fighting that I brought up earlier, where I was saying that maybe if the portal is used, they won't be able to close the distance for Rising Lotus to actually get a team fight started. Well, they're so far ahead right now that they will get these fights started. They will stay on top of Equinox, and it's now up to Equinox to actually counter these fights effectively. Now we need to see some of this crowd control land.
Oh, Safantu, that was not well executed. Now he's in so much trouble. Gonna be that gauntlet placed down to try and stop Rising Lotus diving on into this team fight, but Solicitude is hungry for kills and will find the first. Going for more potentially under this turret. That's a double. He has to fall back here. Turrets hurt a mighty deal. Rising Lotus not quite able to find as much, but this is a 4 versus 5. Sneaky's up in the bot side, taking all the turrets at this point. And Equinox are forced to defend their mid lane turret from Cracks, who's just doing so much work with those Helogenesis. Nomad going to keep shy here. Solar Storm going to hit on. Will that be the kill? Nope, the spell fight doesn't quite tick through. Equinox not really being allowed to do anything.
Here comes Sneaky though, and now with the next wave, they know that they can push this in.
Right, this is just another turret for the side. Solicitude dives forward, isn't quite able to find the kill for himself here, but this is going to be another turret falling
another
lane. This just is disgusting from Rising Lotus. They have completely upped their game.
Yeah, this is just complete domination in this game. We were expecting maybe to see more out of Equinox, but you have to just credit Rising Lotus so much in this one. They move from the advantage in the top lane, start bullying Baby Group Part 2 around the map. The entire game long, he's still only level 6 on this Kestrel. There is no real chance of him ever getting into this game. And Rising Lotus, they've got the Ghost Wing. They'll likely push out the lanes, look to set up a Black Claw, get a few more picks to end this one.
He's going to be Safantu caught out in the top side, does lose his life. 9 kills to 1. Of course, pretty much all the turrets already taken here. Sneaky was able to get that armory turret. I didn't even realize that. That's a huge push from Sneaky during that 4 versus 5 in the mid lane. And now Rising Lotus are positioning for more. There's the portal through from Nomad. Doesn't quite position himself in a way that his team can follow up so quickly. Will be Equinox able to escape for now. Currently a fight between Sneaky and LXSS in the top side. Can LXS get this? The Oblivion comes out. He has to dodge it. The ultimate from LXS will get dodged as well, but here's the rest of Rising Lotus. Make sure that Sneaky maintains his flawless streak. Solicitude looking for a kill. That's a great series strike to catch up Shy, but Arden is pretty tanky. And now Safantu might just find a kill for himself here. Definitely Baby Groot wants to find one. Oh, Spitfire dodge. That was great by Cracks to block it up. Really nice team play. And now Sneaky just hammering over the wall. 1 kill for him, 2 kills for him, 3 kills for him. That is beautiful stuff coming out from Sneaky. And this armory turret in the top side is going to lose its life as well.
Yeah, we've got the push down on the bottom as well from Keanu Nakoa, trying to take that second armory down. Like, this is all Rising Lotus all the time here, pushing in. 13 kills to 1. Looking to end this one. It looks like they're going to back away because they're a little bit risky on the health bars. It's a just a case of going back, buying up, healing up, starting one of the major objectives, and just pushing this game down for the win.
Black Claw has landed. We'll have to see if Rising Lotus are filling it right now.
They could even go for it and then just take the regen from it, right? I mean, it depends on whether they think that Equinox can actually come out and fight them. The chances are Equinox, they have their ultimates up. You probably don't want to take the fight on full 5v5, but they're so far ahead.
Yeah, Nakoa spotted out on the bot side. This Ghostwing has spawned as well. A lot of teams like to take Ghostwing into Black Claw, into game, pushing ends. that seems like that's going to be the case here for Rising Lotus. I don't think this Ghost Wing can be contested. Maybe Shy tries to throw the Gauntlet out, but Nomad Vagabond blocking that with his Bulwark. There's the portal over. Baby Group Part 2 is completely caught out here in the fight. That's going to be Safan2 having to jump away as well. Equinox completely split. 1 kill over, another. The Baby Groups are dead here. And now it's going to be I Love Shy chased down by Kian and Nakoa. All of Equinox are dead. Rising Lotus are going to push on in for the win. Shy falls down. Alex SS last man standing. A Ghost Wing buff to make sure this Pain Crystal falls quickly. And that's going to be GG.
Yeah, gonna be GG. This is Rising Lotus taking it, and from minute 1, I guess you could say Baby Group Part 2, all he could say was, Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good, because this game, he never got an opportunity to fight. He never got into it, and Rising Lotus looking dominant in one of their last games here in the preseason.
Yeah, a war that just was not fair whatsoever, as Rising Lotus have completely upped their game constantly and constantly, powering up each one of these weeks. Now, with a win under their belt, we'll have to see how they're able to perform tomorrow. Congratulations to Rising Lotus, very dominant performance, and let's see what FlashX and Tasty Bacon have to say about that.
8-0-0 on Sneaky, our player to watch. I'd say he is stepping up and helping Rising Lotus go to that next level, solidifying themselves as a top 4 team in Europe.
They have looked so good ever since they've made these roster adjustments. That's something that I'm very looking forward to developing as we get into the regular season. This team fight in the top lane when they penetrated into the base and got their first armory is really what got them the momentum to go ahead and close out this game. Solicitude on this weapon power Sky also looked so good at 6-0-3, but again, that AoE damage from Sneaky absolutely melting everyone from the side of Equinox.
Yeah, great play from Rising Lotus across the board. Take a look at Twitch chat. This was after we showed the little teaser of the new studio. See a good bound of excitement there. Everyone y'all hiring at that studio. That's a good question. You'll go find out at some point. But you know, you guys are excited about seeing the new studio, so I guess we'll go ahead and show you.
This is it. This is the Poker Go Studio, the new home of Vainglory Esports. No more green screens, no more concept images. This is the real deal. They're finishing up some of the construction right now as we speak, but this is going to be it. I know we said we weren't going to have a green screen anymore. We're still going to have a little bit of fun with it, of course. But you know what's better than a green screen? How about 8 65-inch TVs behind us at this gorgeous desk? Cannot wait to be standing back here calling all the action alongside Munchables and Flash X. It's going to be an incredible season. One of the coolest things about this studio is we are not going to be confined to this desk. We could come out of a game and be at the desk, or we could come out here for deeper analysis. We're probably going to come out and have some fun with the green screen, or we could come out to the player lounge where we might have some players playing here live. What's up, guys? And of course, between regions, I'll probably be hanging out here, drinking water, of course. So that's our mini tour of the new Poker Go Studio, the new home of Vainglory Esports. We're going to be here in the regular season, but before that, we still have a few more games to get to. So let's get into the picks and bans.
Hey, the two of those faces look pretty familiar. Hammy and Daniel hanging out at the studio. They had really good things to say about it. We got the draft already complete. Salty Potatoes versus Clash, going to be an absolutely stellar matchup.
Yeah, and look at this draft from Salty Potatoes. Maline, Lorelai, Reza, and Tony. What happened here, Clash?
I don't know. Maybe Clash trying to have some fun with this final matchup. Definitely looks very bold, but Salty Potatoes has a huge opportunity to make a very bold statement.
Yeah, but so does Clash. They have the chance to give Maline her first loss in the VPL preseason, so definitely should be an interesting one as we get into it. But if you want to be able to get some extra goodies in game, make sure you head on over to Twitter, tweet using the hashtag VPL and hashtag Battle Pass for your chance to win a Vainglory Battle Pass. If you don't know what the Battle Pass is, check in game. You can buy one right now if you want to, or you can try and get your hands on one for free by entering for this giveaway. Lots of rewards to be earned in game, but that's for in game. That's for you guys. For this matchup, we have Leon with some thoughts.
Yo, what's up everybody? I'm Leon, the roamer for Team Clash. This weekend we'll be going up against Salted Potatoes, who's not to be underestimated. We'll be going up against Aeon, a dangerous player with unbelievable mechanical skill. He's a good friend of mine, but I just cannot wait to clap him and his teammates. See you on the Sovereign's Rise.
Hey, I'm looking forward to clapping his former teammates, actually. He has a little bit of history with Salty Potatoes going back to last year. You can see on the stat comparison, Clash with the advantages in just about everything. They have definitely been one of the top teams in all of Europe.
Definitely have to take a look at and remember how good their macro execution has been. You see the average game time almost 6 minutes faster than Salty Potato. That is because they are closing these games out so quickly.
Yeah, they have been absolutely stellar. Their only stumbling block has been against Team Queso, the other top team in the region. So again, this is a chance for Salty Potatoes to get that momentum going into the regular season, to get some work with the newest hero on the rise. And for the side of Clash, it's a chance for them to try and shut down Maline, which we haven't seen anyone be able to do yet.
Absolutely. Still seeing a few roster mix up with these teams, not just in the rosters, but how these players are being utilized on the teams. We've seen Leon flex in and out of that carry role into the captain role. I personally think Clash has looked way cleaner when Leon has been in that captain role. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. They've looked very strong. I mean, Leon is such a versatile and such a strong player in any role that I feel like you're going to be confident in your abilities regardless of where he's playing. But when they've been able to use some of their other talents in the carry roles as well, they've been able to really shine. Coming into today, there was some mentioning on Twitter that I'm to Do may not be playing. May have been a joke. Just Man obviously wanted to come in with his Lance, but seeing as he doesn't have the Lance, there might be I'm the Doom still playing. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at our players to watch for this matchup.
Clash definitely going to be the key figure for the side of Salty Potatoes. He has a big opportunity in this carry role if he can position well and get on to these back lines and get the damage out and across. He's going to be very a key asset to his team. Captaining, making sure he's frontlining, keeping his allies safe, going to be very important.
Yeah, absolutely a key member of the team. But on the other side, for the side of Clash, Net Toilette is going to be the player I want to focus on. Another one of these players that used to be known for the captain role, has been swapping around a little bit as the team needs, which is something that Clash, really everyone on this team, has kind of been filling in where they're needed. But Net Toilette is one of the keys for them. When he has strong games, then the entire team does well. And he's kind of one of these players that doesn't get all the recognition. He's not like the marquee player for the team, but he is a key component to their success.
He's definitely bounced in and out of a lot of these different roles. He's played captain in 3v3. He's played a little bit of jungle in 5v5. Kind of be interesting to see how Clash can utilize him. But I think one of Clash's greatest strengths is that they have so many players that can flex in between so many different roles, so that if someone is missing, if someone needs to step up in a different role, if things aren't working, they have a lot of flexibility and versatility to be able to fill those shoes.
And it's also got to be a little bit of pressure too, knowing that, okay, if I don't perform, we have other players that can step up and take my spot potentially. So, it kind of keeps everyone motivated the entire time. Even if you're winning, you still have that motivation to constantly perform. And that's one of the, like you said, can be one of their greatest strengths, but it can also be something that can cause problems down the road. We've seen it happen with other teams before. While we are getting ready for this game, some of the players just getting some last-minute things squared away, we want to look ahead a little bit to later on today. We have TSM and Tribe going head-to-head in North America. You can see the recent performances, for the most part, favoring TSM. There's one edge for Tribe there back in last year's week 3 of the season. But you know, the most recent one, NA Champions League, 3-1 for TSM in the best of 5 finals.
A bit of a stretch to trying to compare 3v3 results to 5v5 results, but yeah.
Especially because, you know, Tribe has a lot of the same players, but the TSM roster totally different with the exception of one.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, definitely the hype matchup of the day. I'm personally looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a ton of fun. Both of these teams sitting in 5-1, wanting to make one final statement before we head into the regular season of who is the best in North America.
Yeah, absolutely our hype game. You said of the day, I say of the preseason. The only match that came close to this level of hype is the Queso versus Clash here in Europe. So there's a lot of excitement leading up to that match. I've already seen people, you know, saying that that's the match they can't wait to see it today. I'm excited for it. Flash is excited for it. A lot of you are excited for it. Hopefully it lives up to all of the expectations that have been put on it. We're still looking forward to our current game right now. We're going to be getting there shortly. Again, players just getting last-minute things sorted out, but we will be getting onto Sovereign's Rise momentarily for the matchup between Clash and Salty Potatoes. Any last thoughts before we get into this one, Flash?
It's really just the last opportunity for Salty Potatoes to be able to use this super strong draft to be able to make a bold statement and get some momentum going into the regular season.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the power rankings where he was, you know, Salty Potatoes were in the 3rd spot. After the performance Rising Lotus put up, if they don't look strong here, they could very easily be overtaken. We'll see if they can hold on to that number 3 spot. Maybe move into number 2 with Dowsy and Stress.
Clash looking to keep their dominance here in Europe. Don't want to lose that number 1 spot, but it's all about Salty Potatoes. Can they hold their own over the Rising Lotus in that number 3 spot? Maleen on the Sovereign's Rise as well. First time here in Europe, Stress.
Yeah, and you look at this, like, the desk touched on it a bunch, like this draft. I feel like Clash looked at this and went, well, it's our last game. We know that we're at least definitely second and probably can just win the game and make it ourselves first. So let's give ourselves a little experience playing against a hero that is new, that it's only been a couple of weeks that Maleen's been out. So see what Salty Potatoes can do with it. Ooh. Clash caught out. Good dog.
Agony is taking a lot of damage. There's Aeon showing Maleen's strength in the level 1 skirmishes. For those who haven't played with Maleen yet, her ultimate enchanted transformation is available at level 1 and allows her to switch between a light form and a dark form. Currently Aeon in that light form just switched into it, and he can do that at pretty much any time during the game. We'll talk about that in a bit because Sly King and Leon and Doom are in a bit of a skirmish. It was Disown losing his life early, but it looks like Bruto may get punished here as I'm the Doom's trying to chase forward. Boots popped. There's the core collapse dodged by Bruto. The auto attacks won't be enough. That's going to be Bruto escaping there.
Good dodge to actually keep himself alive there. I'm the Doom still looking to want to go aggressive, low on energy though, so they're going to have to back away. 4 versus 2.
Oh, this is destruction coming out of Salty Potatoes. They're going to take the kills there. Was traded 1 for 1 actually, as Bruto kind of dived on in heavy on that Tony. But wow, 3-1 at the early game. Good stuff coming out of Salty Potatoes.
Good stuff from SP, and a lot of it is their grouping now. It's not directly because of the Maleen as a hero alone, but I want to talk a little bit about typical shapeshifters. They're known across the MOBA genre. They're incredibly strong in the early game, typically, because you have multiple abilities for every level you put in. There's crowd control in the kit, there's extra damage in the kit. You have that ability to just kind of have more in the early game than the enemy do. And if you camera is watching A and you just saw another ability, the ability to go untargetable down under the ground, and that keeps Maleen safe as well. So you generally don't want to trade against a shape-shifting hero early on in this. And that's where Salty Potatoes have used their strength with the grouping alongside the Lorelei and used it to great effect.
Well, in this top side, a bit of a skirmish going out as Rearin and Imagination doing their best to hold up against Nettolet and Agony. Wow, that damage coming out of Agony is crazy. But bot side, Doom has roamed on down. 3-man gank will find a kill into Bruto, his 2nd death of the game. And this is just great rotational ability from I'm the Doom. One thing that he's just so good at. Aeon now rotating, trying to get into position, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to. We'll have to fall back to mid.
Yeah, was trying desperately to at least get in that empowered auto attack that would then set up the damage after the shapeshift. So it's kind of this ability to chase people down very effectively, but too far to run. They're able to get away with the life on the bottom side of Clash. And Clash right now, they know they're somewhat on the back foot with the kills disadvantage, but they're happy to just farm this up. They do have a gold lead for now. I'm the Doom just needs to play a little careful here, not get caught out by this gank attempt from Bruto. He's got Leon on the bottom side, so should be okay.
Bruto does taunt through. Can he hit the stun as well? Oh, that root just misses from Aeon. That would have been death to Doom if that connected. He's going to go into the shadows, just falling back, but that's the threat. You just never know where that's going to pop on out. Aeon now wants to move forward. If he can get that empowered light form attack to slow down, that's going to be really impactful. Here we go. Damage coming out. Salty Potatoes really want this fight. Disown may get caught out here, may get taunted back. There's the stun. Looks like he is going to get taunted in. That's going to be him going down. That's going to be a kill going over to Viking, and that Crystal Treant stolen his way. Salty Potatoes looking so strong with their early game rotations, really trying to use Malign to full effect. Yeah, using it in a great way, moving between these small skirmishes, able to just take out anybody that they can find. And it looked like as Disown came into that exchange, that there was just kind of a miscommunication and a whiff there out from Disowned. Yeah, no, right now, Salty Potatoes holding an advantage as far as kills is concerned, but when you look at the gold, it is actually in favor of Clash. They've been able to get about $500 grand over their opponents through their jungle steals. You can see Netalet and Agony moving into the top side here. Imagination secures the Treant, but he will lose his life for it. That is not worth it. Now, with Rearen caught on out, this might be him falling as well. Netalet charges forward, doesn't quite get the kill. A couple more auto attacks from Agony will get it. He had that red Treant bow going so he could blow his target down. Disowned, able to get a camp for himself. Will he lose his life for it? Gets taunted back in. Viking doing a lot of work. The stun comes out, but they've overcommitted here. Leon comes in, so does I'm the Doom. Viking will lose his life, and I think Bruto just needs to fall back and allow it to happen. He will. Good rotation once more from I'm the Doom, and Leon just consistently putting the pressure on from all around the map. Yeah, this was Clash being able to take the small numbers advantage fights on their side. Agony's even going to look for another one up here on his Imagination was trying to farm it out. Now, we haven't really seen much from this Baptiste, but it's been mostly farming, and that is what is keeping that gold advantage in the favor of Clash. Now the kills on top of it add to it. The tower turret is going to get pretty much shredded down here, exchanged for a kill or two, maybe? Netalet just doing so much work here. Rearen will fall down. Saw that Solar Storm come out from Doom. Didn't quite connect, so it doesn't matter. Aeon has rotated up, but a Scout Cam will spot him out. And now Clash with no mid laner to contest is going to just put so much damage onto this mid turret here. Going to take it all the way down to half health before that Captain Minion does lose its life. A stun onto Aeon as well. Switches into the Dark Form so he can escape. There's just so much damage from I'm the Doom. This Celeste play from him is so good. Leon and I'm the Doom now charging down bot side to provide assistance to Disowned. Looks like Viking and Bruto got the early warning that it was coming. They could push as a 3 here and potentially do some damage to this turret. Yeah, and this all came from a push attempt from Salty Potatoes on the bottom lane. Like, now it turns back around. They were able to clear the minions out from under the tower, and Clash want to keep this going on bottom. They now see Lorelei, they see Malign, they have to be careful. What a stun coming out to stop the Butter Boom from Bruto, but a root does go onto Leon here. Disown frontlining like a champ is going to heal Leon up. There's going to be Disown going very low as they focus him down, take him out as well. Potentially should have used the heal on himself. Now Leon and Doom will just fall back, get the heal over to make sure they can maintain a mid-side push here. A stun onto Rearen as he moves in to try and steal away this Crystal Tree, and Aeon trying to do some damage here. Leon will escape. Rearen does go down though. I'm the Doom throws the Solar Storm out, but a great block comes through from Aeon diving into the shadows. Crystal Treant will get secured in the end, but it was just another overextension coming out of Salty Potatoes, which ends up costing them another kill. Yeah, they thought they had the advantage on the numbers, thought that they could go and try and take out that Crystal Treant, but even with the AoE damage that came out of Malign, it's just difficult to get that converted. Now Kestrel looking for the play here as Agony coming forward towards that Crystal Treant. Is able to steal it there. Good dodge once more from Aeon. Just seeing the strength of Malign to consistently dodge abilities, the power of her, but you know, dodging abilities isn't enough here. You need to be able to provide the constant DPS. It's knowing when to switch between your light and dark form, the cooldowns on each ability as well. Really huge skill to be able to play one of these shape-shifting heroes. And now we see Clash moving into the top side. They're just going to take this turret down. There's nothing Imagination can do. Let's talk about this Reza into Baptiste combo, because historically, Reza's always sucked against Baptiste. It's always been one of his major counters. I just love the fact that Clash put NetToilette up into that top side against the Reza and just make sure that Imagination can't ever get into a position. Oh my god. I didn't expect him to die. He's too young, Leon, to escape. It is going to be NetToilette diving forward here. I don't think Clash can get more kills. You wouldn't think so, unless Solid Potatoes just run at them. But wow, just dominance from Clash here.
Yeah, dominance, and I guess if the counter in-game, when you look at hero versus hero, isn't exactly playing out as quickly as you'd like, just kill him, and then there's no real counter to that at that point. Now, Disowned, taking the opposite effect here, trying to run away, should be able to get out here, because the damage actually isn't that strong when everybody from Salty Potatoes isn't looking to focus down one or two targets, and that's exactly what happened there. Like, Salty Potatoes are split and then end up trying to regroup for the top side of the fight, and now Salty Potatoes are caught. Oh, this has gone wrong.
Yeah, one shot chunks down Bruto. Disown dives on in, looking for the auto attacks to find the kill, and we'll be able to get it. Leon using that portal aggressively. Disown's going to have to heal himself. Lots of healing, though, coming out. Great Fearsome Shade knocks Viking backwards. Viking trying to commit to the kill, but he won't be able to do so. Double kill comes out for Disowned here, who's going to be able to escape nice and easily. And now Clash can move towards this Ghost Wing if they fancy, take it down, and then continue their pushing dominance.
Yeah, this game started out with Salty Potatoes trying to make a few plays, and ever since, it's just started going wrong on the plays. Like, they're either a little too fractured, or Clash should just have the right counter engage. They're able to kind of take every fight that Salty Potatoes want to throw at them, and it just means they're throwing gold over the way of Clash. It's another game with a massive disparity. I mean, we looked at today's games, and pretty much game 1 and game 3 were like, well, that's going to be a one-sided game, and we weren't sure about the middle one, but even that has been a very one-sided affair. So clearly this divide here in Europe between the top and the bottom half of the table.
Certainly is. Now Clash with the Ghost Wing will be pushing down this turret. Looks like Leon's trying to hold off the mid lane advance from Salty Potatoes, and so far doing so well. Turret does fall in the bot side, now pushing towards this armory. Minion wave on the way as well, but they're just going to take it up. They don't even care. Just pushing on down. That's the turret going down so quickly. A route onto Disown. They're going to dive forward onto the tanker of the team. Does end up losing his life. Huge active camo stun. Here comes the Solar Storm. Here comes the one shot. Good night, Aeon. Impressive stuff coming out from Clash. And they're going to continue pushing onto the armory here. Bruto still mid, holding off Leon's push.
I've been keeping an eye. I've been keeping an eye on that, and Bruto is just going to be like face palming so hard. Leon outplayed him about 4 times in that sequence using the portal. There was this one sequence where Leon, if he just got attacked once more, would have died, and the portal timer refreshed for him but not for Bruto, and Leon just kind of walks away, heals up, and comes back into the fight. Like that whole sequence from Clash was kind of just them toying with Salty Potatoes.
I mean, that's what Leon does. When he gets ahead on a captain, he loves to toy with the enemy team. He loves to go and just face up against 2, 3, even 4 players and just taunt them to come at him. Now diving onto Riran here. He's going to be in a lot of trouble. Great Crucible to block up Aeon's route. Is going to be Riran going very low. The stun, though, comes out onto NetToilette. The Fearsome Shade to knock them all back. Knocking Bruto down. Lots of damage he will fall. Diving on in is Disown. Imagination's able to take down Doom on the backside. That's exactly what a Reza needs to do. That's a main damage source down. Maybe Salty Potatoes look to advance on this. There's the route going on to NetToilette, looking for some more damage. Just fish food to catch up Disown. Everyone's so low, and Imagination wants to dive on in. Aeon trying to throw out the damage with the tentacles, but can they get in is the question. Clash seem healthy. Clash seem like they want this fight. Clash take the first kill. Gonna dive away is Aeon. Here comes Disown. Aeon in a lot of trouble, and that's a double for NetToilette. Disown healing himself. That's gonna be a triple for NetToilette. And Imagination, can he escape is the question that we have asked. No, he cannot. Aeon will throw a Glimmer Shot out and find the kill. 13 minutes on the clock. This is gonna be a Black Claw potential push coming out of Clash.
And you can see exactly why they go for the fight, because it looked like they had the damage. The Maline was putting the damage out with that Dark Form A, just shredding people down. But then the turn, the Baptiste gets into the fight, manages to get a good amount of damage out, gets the heal from himself and is able to take it down. Now they just utilize that into the Black Claw. Now swing through the top side. You'll have Black Claw in the middle lane, the rest of Clash in the top lane. You can push down for 2 armories. Like, look, you can see Salty Potatoes are already grouping, expecting the push to come through the mid lane, and now they go, uh-oh, we have to move towards top because that armory tower is already half health and it's gone.
Yeah, this is going to be a fight breaking out. Potentially Salty Potatoes trying to take it nice and quick. Net2let charging forward onto Aeon here. Fearsome Shade doesn't quite connect with Aeon, but so much damage coming out of these AoE dealers. First kill for I'm the Doom. Leon charging forward, cutting them all off with the Bright Bulwark. This is going to be disastrous for Salty as 2 more members die. Net2let diving the turret will survive. That's going to be turrets falling all over the shop as Agony one-shots to find Aeon. This is it. GG, well played. Clash will take this one in fearsome stride as Imagination loses his life for the triple kill and the ace for Clash. Very, very great fun stuff coming out of Clash, and they show that they ain't no scared of a Maline.
Yeah, let the draft go over to Salty Potatoes. They give them a bunch of OP heroes and say, okay, we'll just deal with it in game. But that means heading in to the last week of the Preseason Invitational, the last day, I should say, they have a tie at the top between Queso and Clash. I wonder whether we'll see that broken tomorrow.
Yeah, no, this is going to be exciting stuff to see if tomorrow can break up these 2 teams. Incredible stuff from Clash, really just showing that they want it here in Europe, and they performed fantastically. Salty Potatoes is going to lose that number 3 spot. Now, with Europe wrapped up for this day, we'll have to break it down with Tasty Bacon and Flash X.
That's Leon getting his clap on Aeon there. Absolutely dominant performance once again from Clash, despite an amazing draft coming out of Salty Potatoes. Maline taking her first L of the season.
Definitely surprising. I didn't expect that. I actually thought that Salty Potatoes could have pulled that one out given the draft. Unfortunately, Clash so crisp, so clean. In this team fight, they're not scared. This is the key to playing against Maline. When you have ranged heroes that can play from distance, that is what Maline has to watch out for, because she's just constantly getting poked from the back line, and that's not really something she can contest.
Yeah, I mean, Salty Potatoes, they came out of the gate strong. They got first blood. They got very aggressive, but they weren't able to continue that momentum rolling. You can see Twitch, I was definitely excited for the draft that Salty had, but as Eliminate said there, Leon is just too good, and the rest of Clash were able to step up as well and take that victory, keeping themselves tied with Queso for that top spot in Europe. So fantastic stuff coming from them.
They've got to feel good about it. That's got to be great momentum going into the regular season coming up at the start of early June. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, well, take a look at the results from the European games today. You can see it was Queso, Rising Lotus, and Clash all picking up victories. And that's going to bring us to the standings for where we stand now with 1 day remaining in the European preseason. And you can see it is going to be still Clash and Queso tied for that top spot. Rising Lotus now tied with Salty Potatoes for that 3rd spot once again. And then Equinox and Wolves both still bringing up the rear of these European standings.
1 more day for this teams left to play. 1 more opportunity to prove that they are good. We got North America coming up. We got the hype matchup of the preseason coming up. TSM versus Tribe Gaming. Inside information, it is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've been able to hear some of the scrims from TSM going on this week. It's going to be a fantastic matchup. You do not want to miss it. Make sure you're there at 11 a.m. It's a new start time for North America, so make sure it's a little bit earlier than we're used to. We also have a little bit of a preview of that matchup, the coach from Tribe.
What's up, guys? This is Hot Sauce here, head coach for Tribe Vainglory. Really excited about our match today with TSM. They're a team that's been playing out of their minds so far, and they're a really, really good opponent. You know, I think that with our roster, we're capable of beating anybody. So what we want to do is make sure we get a really good draft, get our players on power picks, and try and deny TSM on some of their power picks, because they're definitely capable of snowballing or beating anybody if they get them. So that's going to be our first focus, and then we really going to focus on our macro play and get our players focusing on the objectives at the right time, and putting ourselves in a good position to win. So if we do that, I think we're definitely capable of beating them, and really excited about the match with them, and should be a great series.
There you go. A lot of preparation going into this matchup for the side of Tribe. They know just how strong their opponents are going to be. But one of the things that we want to talk about, the top teams set for battle, and this is the matchup.
Absolutely. It has all come down to this. Both these teams, this is the only shot. It's a best of one. You only get one chance to prove that you're the best team in North America. I know that both these teams are going to be trying to give it their best.
And if in case you missed it at the top of the show, the big news about the VPL, the regular season is going to be starting up soon. Early June is when we will have the first of 2 tournaments that will kick off. 24 teams per region. Top 8 will be invited, and then the rest of the field will be an open sign-up. Anyone can put together a team and sign up to participate in the open tournament this summer. It is going to be incredibly exciting. Who knows who the next big names in Vainglory are going to be.
It's a huge opportunity for so many of these players and so many of these teams to go head-to-head with some of the best. It's just a cool experience to be able to play against the teams like TSM and like Tribe, but it's a huge opportunity to prove that, to be able to, you can stand up to them.
I seem to recall, way back when we first had open tournaments, a certain someone got to make their name known on Vainglory and go to Korea as a result of one of these open tournaments. So a lot of opportunities to be had. Before we go, we're going to say congratulations to CHX, our winner of the Vainglory Battle Pass giveaway. Make sure you get involved on social media if you want your chance at being our next winner. I'll have more information on how to enter coming up in our North American broadcast. Don't go anywhere. We will be back shortly at 11 a.m. Pacific. We will be back with North American broadcast and our incredibly hyped game of the preseason. Don't go anywhere.